Hello, and welcome to my CS490 VR final project demo. Okay, what I have for you is a very simple technique can be used to kind of like estimate arm position in VR using only just these controllers. Okay, as you'll see, as the same as my midpoint demo, we're starting off with just the controllers in my hand, and the little spheres here representing the positions of the wrists approximately. Okay, and we're gonna start off calibration the same way. So we stand in our I pose, right, and then we stand in our T pose, like that. Okay, and yeah, we should have arms that roughly correspond to you know yeah. And there's a few things to note that are different from the midpoint demo. First off, when I look down, the arms don't really move much because now the shoulders are being calculated not just directly, sort of relative to the headset, but we also model it using an extra joint at the neck, and that helps the shoulders stay relatively in position while even I move my head around up and down. You will notice that as I move my head left and right, the shoulders do move, and that's just a limitation of the system. That makes the shoulders have to be sort of exactly in the direction that you're facing. There's no really other way to get the positions of the shoulders otherwise, so that's just a concession that we have to make. You will also notice that you know it works at it's no longer just taking on the default low position. It tries to lock on to the lowest position, as when the wrist when the arm is like, sort of in that spot. As we move the arm sideways and up now, you see that the arms do indeed approximately follow the motion of my arm. Okay, and this is done by checking the orientation of the wrist. So the wrist usually stays in a neutral position relative to the arm when doing large arm motions, and you can see that this is quite a good estimate, right? So this just takes a look at the position of the wrist, assumes that it's in a neutral position, and then draws the arm along that arc. And again, it works pretty well. Um, yeah. Now, again, there are a few pitfalls to this whole scenario because we're using the position of the wrist so heavily. What happens is that in most scenarios, it ends up being fine. Like even if I'm holding my arm up like this and I move my wrist, inwards, outwards like this, it does end up affecting the position a little. But the biggest problem is that sometimes the arms can be put in positions in VR that are physically impossible in real life. So, for example, if I turn my wrist this way, my arms could never bend like that in real life, even if I wanted to. Okay, and that's I think the main issue with this method. But one of the ways that we could work on fixing this, it's very simple. We just have to make sure that the arms, maybe like a little bit better model for the arms, such that they don't exactly I guess they don't exactly go into positions that are not permitted physically. Like this is a little silly, but just showing off kind of the edge case of the system. But again, as you can see in most cases, this does actually pretty accurately um, detect the position of my arm. And yeah, that's the entire demo. Thank you for watching.